Would it be possible to start this business with literally $0?
Yes. Oh! The worst case scenario was that I would make my money back. It's zero risk if you do it that way. Really, anywhere there's people, this business will work. There's a lot of ways to get free set.
Would you guys take a minute and look at this freaking 23-year-old guy right here? That's my friend Kyler, and he makes $10,000 a month simply by renting out these ugly $50 washers and dryers on Facebook Marketplace of all places. He has 0 employees, he works 5 hours a week, and he has a 3-step process to doing exactly all this that I'm about to show you. So come with me. All right, Kyler, I have to ask, of all the businesses that a 23-year-old can start, what got you thinking about washers and dryers of all things?
Yeah, so ever since I was like 21, I loved posting on Facebook Marketplace.
Okay.
Rental ideas. So I started out with a 9 square in the air game. It's like a Utah Mormon game. Got 9 kids. I would rent that out for maybe a couple $100s a month. Started renting out paddle boards.
Only on Facebook Marketplace?
Facebook Marketplace only.
Are you like paying to boost these, or is it just organic?
I would do it organic and then boost it if it got any interest.
Okay.
But I would love to test ideas that I didn't own. So like excavators, chainsaws, luxury bathrooms.
Whoa. You didn't own this stuff?
Didn't own any of it.
So why are you posting it?
I would just take a screenshot off of Google to test it, to validate.
Sure, okay.
I ain't trying to buy it unless it's tested.
No, we're in the land of the cheap right now. This is Utah.
Hot tub rentals, pool rentals, dump trailer rentals, everything like that.
And you're just like a cook in the kitchen. You're in a lab, you're experimenting.
Yeah, I mean, I would just put them up. I mean, if the photo didn't look real, it didn't get a lot of hits.
Okay.
But I was always trying to find like these micro, like, oh, if I have 50 things rented out or whatever at $20, I mean, I'll make $1,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Always checking like ChatGPT or like internet things of like, what should I rent? And I don't really know how I came up with it, but one day I put a washer and dryer there. I have no idea why.
And you said the photo needs to look real.
It needs to look real.
That's an important part of it.
They can tell, I don't know if it's Facebook, the algorithm, or the people, they can tell if it's a blurry screenshot, you don't own it. So I put a washer and dryer for rent. Then I went on a cruise because I did summer sales and they pay for a cruise. And when I got back, I had no service and there was like 30 people. At that point, I did not own a washer and dryer.
So we're talking about 30 messages on Facebook?
Yeah, 30 messages.
About washer and dryer?
Renting the washer and dryer.
How much did you list it for?
I listed it, I believe, for $50.
I feel like there's got to be a secret sauce to like how you're wording these Facebook Marketplace posts.
Oh no, there definitely is.
Okay, when are you going to show me?
I'll show you that when we go inside.
All right, we got to get inside then. All right, so $50 for a month?
For 1 month, yeah.
Okay, and these are like the high efficiency, like the fancy ones, or?
The only experience I had with washers and dryers is I delivered some for like a third-party company. Or like I was a third-party company.
Okay.
But I had no idea what I was gonna buy. High efficiency, old ones. I just took a random screenshot from the internet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but it wasn't too blurry.
It wasn't too blurry. It looked real. It looked real enough to get some hits. And out of those 30, I messaged them all back, yes, are you still interested? Yes, are you still interested? Yes, are you still interested?
Okay.
And somebody in Orem was like, yes, can you install it tomorrow?
Okay.
So then I live across from RC Willey. It's like a Home Depot in Utah, and I bought my first set. Not knowing anything.
After you had rented it out?
After I had rented it out.
Before you had spent any money?
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
let me be clear. Like, Facebook Marketplace is all about time to respond, right?
Yes.
And you did that wrong.
I did it
you were
very
on a cruise.
wrong. I did it very wrong.
But despite that, you found a buyer. You found a renter.
Yeah, there was enough interest. And out of those 30 people, I think maybe like 3 or 4 were like actually interested.
Wow. Okay.
Like, yeah, I want to rent this. I mean, a lot of people think it's for sale for $60, so they click it. And then I'm like, did you not read the title? It's for rent.
Right. What did this tell you about this idea? Because at this point, you'd already listed all kinds of random stuff. Were you hyped at this point?
I was very hyped. I didn't sleep for like 3 weeks probably.
What were you doing instead of sleeping?
Well, I just had a vision. I'm a very, I can observe.
You're a visionary man.
Yeah, I can see it before it happens.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, in Utah, you have 6 months of hot, 6 months of cold. So any rental idea sucks because, okay, you get a boat, you can't rent it during the winter. You get a razor, you can't rent it during the winter.
Yeah.
You get something in the winter, you can't rent it in the summer. So I was like, washers and dryers, they all year round. And it stays in their house, so I don't have to worry, like it's just a very, very niche rental idea. You know what I mean?
And so you knew kind of what to expect after posting anything, and this blew your expectations out of the water.
A lot of interest, and then I just liked the idea, like with the paddle boards, I had to meet with them every day and like clean them all off, but I liked the idea of like, oh, I'm gonna go put this in someone's house and forget about it, and they're just gonna pay me monthly. And I knew it was gonna work, and I also knew that the worst case scenario was that I would make my money back.
Okay, so you get this thing rented out. You don't have any legal agreements, no contract, no insurance, just like a thumbs up on Facebook Marketplace, right?
Yep.
So you go to RC Willey to buy this machine. How does that go?
So I went with my little brother because we were gonna go install it. Talked to the sales guy. I told him I wanted the cheapest one that like was gonna last longer, and definitely was the most expensive set I bought. I bought 3 of them actually that day.
So the first set you ever bought ended up being the most expensive you ever bought?
Yeah, they were like $1,000 each. It was like $450 for a washer, $450 for a dryer plus tax.
And you bought 3 sets?
Yeah.
How much of like your life savings did you put into this business?
Within the first like month, I probably put half of it or more.
Half of your life savings?
Half of my life savings.
Into a promising Facebook Marketplace post.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So $3,000 worth of washers and dryers. Do you go straight from RC Willey to that first customer or what?
I believe so, yeah. Went to the first one. It was a 4-plex in Orem. I had not tons of experience installing them. It took like probably took an hour longer than it should have. Probably took 2 hours. Got it all. And the first one was kind of a failure because like their dryer vent was completely full of lint and I didn't even know that was a thing. So
when
after the house was full of lint.
You don't even know what it's called.
The dryer vent of the house was full of lint, and so like 2 hours later she calls me and I bought nice enough dryer where it doesn't work if it's full of lint because then it's gonna cause a fire. So I'm like, this already sucks. The very first one I put in, they're already calling me, the dryer doesn't work, I don't know how to fix it. So then I went back, I bought the stuff to clean the dryer vent.
Now you're in the vent cleaning business, unexpectedly.
And now I just tell them, go call your landlord. I ain't touching your vent.
Okay.
But yeah, I was in the vent cleaning business. I got her all going. Went to Google Docs, printed out a contract that is not legally binding at all.
Okay.
And she still to this day pays Cash App the 15th of every month. November 15th, 2023.
Wow. That was
my first install.
Did it feel good?
The 15th of December was amazing.
Yeah.
That was my first $60 of passive income, free passive income.
All right, so first install was November 15th, 2023.
Yep.
How did those first 30 days go?
It was pretty exciting. I think we did like 4 or 5 installs in the next like 2 weeks. The first person paid Cash App. And I was like, if I'm gonna scale this, I do not wanna text people and have them like remind them about their payment every month. So then the very first thing I figured out was like looking up payment processors. I found Stripe. I was like, I think this is gonna do what I need it to do. I can make subscriptions, process all the credit cards. So that was the first thing. And then I was like, there's gotta be a way to get cheaper washers and dryers. So I called all the wholesale places in Utah. I just told them like, I'm a property manager, I'm a builder, I need 100 sets. Like I was just telling them like, I didn't want to tell them I'm running a rental business. So I just told them that I was a property manager, I needed a lot of sets. And they gave me a bunch of quotes and I gave them $30,000 to get my first X number of sets. I can't remember how much it was.
So why didn't you want to tell them that you were renting these out?
I just didn't want them to know what I was up to.
You thought they might charge you a little extra?
Charge me extra, tell me it's not gonna work, and I was like, I was in my lane, I knew it was gonna work, so I didn't need to hear the hate. I was just rather tell them like, oh, it's probably normal, like property managers need to buy a lot of washers and dryers, so I'll just pretend I'm a 23-year-old property manager.
It's kind of like if you were to roll up in your Cybertruck, they'd be like, oh, the price just went up, right?
I wish this thing was mine.
Oh, that's not yours?
No, my car's over here.
This isn't that type of video. All right, how did that first 30 days go?
The first 30 days were exciting. We did, I think, 4 installs in November, then we did like 17 in December, and then like 13 in January. We installed all of the brand new sets that we had bought in from the wholesale place. When I say we, I'm talking about me and my little brother.
Okay. So like 35 sets?
Yeah, around 35 sets.
$100 a month each?
They were paying between $60 to $85 each.
For each set or for each unit?
For each set.
Okay, so let's call it $80 times 32, so $2,400 a month, monthly recurring revenue?
About that, yeah.
In your first 2 months, give or take?
Yep.
Holy crap. All right, now, when did you learn, like, I don't need to buy the newest, nicest machines anymore? In fact, I'm kind of worse off when I do that.
Yeah, so after I had run out of those sets, I was like, I'm curious to know, the original picture that I posted was a new set.
Okay.
And that was part of the whole pitch of like, you're gonna get a new washer and dryer. And I would literally take them out of their box in front of their house and put them in it, and they loved it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, from what I can gather and observe, these people just want a washer and dryer. So then I put a really old used set for the same price, and it did the same thing. It got a lot of hits. And I was like, all right, let's go buy some of these.
And so I'm guessing it probably didn't even get many fewer hits, right?
That was the
same.
same.
That was kind of the big unlock. Like, why am I buying these new?
Yep. So the used sets are like anywhere from $0 to $200.
What are we talking about $0 here? How are you getting free sets?
There's a lot of ways to get free sets.
Okay, when are you gonna spill the beans here?
So the 3 ways to get free sets, you go on Marketplace, type in free appliances. The turnover for washers and dryers is insane.
Okay.
Every day there's hundreds of washers and dryers posted,
Why?
getting sold.
People are moving?
People are moving, they break, they're getting upgraded.
Yeah.
In Utah County, there is like, yeah, it's just like liquid.
All right, so if there's a lot of washer dryer turnover in any given market, what's the secret to getting these suckers for free?
So you just type in broken appliances or free appliances,
Okay.
and a lot of times you'll find at least 5 to 6 listings that are like, these need to go, we're moving on Friday.
Yep.
First person to get them can have them for free.
Okay.
That happened yesterday, I checked them yesterday.
Okay.
Nice washer, nice dryer that are both working. So you can get free sets that way. And then at the time, so there's 3 big used appliance stores that sell appliances, and I would do their deliveries. The person would buy a set, I would go deliver the set and pick up the washer and dryer, and typically one of them was still working. Then I would fix the other one, and then you have a technically free washer and dryer set.
Okay. Is there any like special filtering you do when you're searching for these, or it's just the keywords?
I just put the keywords in: free appliance, broken
Okay.
appliance.
And it's kind of first to get there, gets it.
Yeah, so you need to have some way to haul them, but honestly, you can find good sets for like $100 and $200 all day, every day.
So let's just say hypothetically, you had a friend with a trailer or a truck, you found free units. Would it be possible to start this business with literally $0?
Yes, you can start this with $0.
If you, let's just
Okay,
say.
so my barber, my neighbor,
Okay.
he cut my hair 2 days ago.
Okay, you did a great job.
Yeah, he said he'd give me a girlfriend, so we'll see.
Okay.
Okay, so he has a washer and dryer in his salon washing the towels, right?
Uh-huh.
Someone was cutting his, someone came in there and offered him and gave him a free washer and dryer. So this man has a free washer and dryer, and he's gonna rent them out. He posted them on Facebook yesterday. He's gonna rent them out, and he'll make $60, $70 a month with one set, and he's excited. So that's an example of, he'll start the business with $0.
So if someone were patient enough and they never wanted to buy a set and they wanted to scale this business, if you could be patient and always on Facebook Marketplace or setting up alerts or using bots or whatever,
Yeah.
you could technically never buy any units.
Yeah, and it just might take a minute.
Whew. Okay. All right, my mind is blown. I'm about to go to Facebook Marketplace right now. All right, so Facebook Marketplace is fine.
Yeah.
But what if you want to scale faster? We're greedy. We want to go to 10K a month within 3
Yeah.
months. How do you do that? How did you get to that point?
So I found out the used market was going to be really good. I did a tiny bit of research of what machines I should get. I was supposed to do a delivery and all the stores were closed. So I went onto Marketplace and I found a guy that had like 8 listings.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I guarantee this is like a little family running a used appliance shop. I went and met with them. They had barely opened a couple months ago. I told them that once again, I was a property manager. I wanted a lot of sets. We made a deal, a handshake agreement that we've agreed to for the last 1.5 years, that they would sell me sets and they would guarantee them for 2 years. So it was a 0 risk in my head because the used ones pay themselves off in 4 to 5 months, and they were gonna guarantee them for 2 years.
Okay, so we've got both ends of the spectrum. If you want to go slow, go cheap, look for free units, or buy them cheap off Facebook Marketplace. If you want to go fast, go hard, look for people listing on Facebook Marketplace multiple times a day. That's kind of an indication of scale. Reach out to them, develop a relationship, and try to buy everything from them, assuming the price and quality is good.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yep, and they have a lot of sources to get them, and they have, yeah, you can buy them all day long.
Okay.
In
And where are they
any
getting
city.
them from?
So they have contracts with like Costco's, box trucks, or Lowe's or Home Depot, and the people, instead of throwing them away, the drivers make some side money by selling them to people like this for like $5.
It's funny because I just got a new fridge installed, and I had already sold the old one. He was picking it up later that day, but the delivery driver was like, hey, what are you doing with that fridge? And I was like, I know what you're up to,
Yeah.
but I already got it sold.
So the other day, my dad bought a Tramp. Costco delivered it to us,
Okay.
and I gave them all my phone number, and they text me now, we got this fridge, we're in Park City, do you want this fridge or whatever?
Whoa.
And
Okay.
the day they delivered it, they had already like 6 appliances, and they just dropped them off at my garage. And they
Crazy.
charge like $20 an appliance, and a lot of times they still work.
I feel like we skipped over a pretty important part of this story here. Didn't you go to like a beat up old appliance shop and start like delivering stuff for them?
Yes.
Tell me about that, like as a completely separate yet tangential opportunity. Tell me how that went down.
Okay, so my grandparents own some apartment complexes. They used to supply the washer and dryer, and ever since I was like 14, 15, did the maintenance with my grandpa. So we'd go buy these cheap washers and dryers, and we'd haul them and install them in my grandparents' apartments. And then one day after my mission, I went and put an ad that just said like appliance delivery, and they don't want anything to do with the delivery side of it, and so they were more than happy to do it. And so you just put it down there and you get a bunch of calls every day and you charge. I actually have one set up for today. It's in Orem, just a washer, $150. It'll probably take me 45 minutes.
You're making a delivery today?
Yeah.
Can I come with you?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So are you telling me, correct me if I'm wrong, no hype, if any Joe Blow in any part of the world wanted to start making money, could they just walk up and knock on the door of an appliance supply shop and say, hey, do you ever need deliveries? Do you offer deliveries in-house? If no, if they don't offer them in-house, is there an opportunity for anyone with a truck and or a trailer to get paid to deliver appliances on behalf of an appliance store?
100%. So obviously the big box stores, they're gonna have their own deliveries, but like the mom and pop shops, they don't have like the manpower to go and deliver them, and they don't want to do that because then it's just more liability for them. And
it's a different business.
It's a different business, and they want as many people to offer delivery because they don't want one guy to just be jacking their customers up, or no one's gonna buy from them. So the ones I've talked to have said the more the merrier. We want our customers to have as much options as possible. So I actually had my number at 2 places, and during the summer you deliver a lot of fridges. You can charge $300 for a fridge, and it still only takes an hour because you just plug the fridge in.
Oh my
gosh. That's the install. So my brother really liked that. I would pay him like $50 or $75 of the $300, and he was making pretty good money for a 15-year-old.
Give me a ballpark percentage of mom and pop appliance stores that don't do their own deliveries.
I would say at least half don't do their own deliveries.
When you first told me about this, I ran a scrape for all of the mom and pop appliance shops, and there were like 15,000 of them.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
And we don't look at them because we're not looking for them, but to think that anyone could start a business with at least half of those, just delivering their stuff for them. Hey, anytime you sell one that needs a delivery, give me a call. Is it as simple as that?
Yeah, you just put your paper there. The better your paper looks, the more calls you'll get. If you answer your phone, then you'll get most of the leads. No one answers their phone. Para empezar nomás tienes que hacer clic ahí con 60.
All right, now Kyler, you're talking about these units like I talk about my kids.
Yeah.
What's so special about these ugly white things?
All right, these are the Whirlpool direct drive washer and dryer.
This sounds like an ad right now.
Yes. So like the thing is, they stopped making these in like 2013. The government said they need to be more water efficient, more power efficient or whatever. But these things are literally made to last. Like these are built like a Speed Queen is built, which are like $3,000 machines, but they cost like $200. The parts have been made for like 50 years. They made this for like 30 years straight. They never changed anything. So all of the parts are $30 or less all over Amazon or whatever, and they last forever.
Easy to repair?
You can look at the back on most of these. They have dates from all the appliance shops, 2015, 2018, 2025. They just keep getting recycled over and over again, and they will for forever.
And they just last forever?
Yeah.
And they're easy
There's
to
no
fix.
suspension. You open them. This thing doesn't move, so it doesn't wobble ever. And they're very simple and really easy to work on.
Okay.
And they're fairly cheap. So 70% of the machines are these. And
Okay.
even if they don't say Whirlpool, if they say Kenmore or whatever, they're all still built by Whirlpool.
Okay.
So these are the ones to get. The planned obsolescence, or whatever they call that thing.
Obsolescence, yeah.
Yeah, that word. Huge in the washers and dryers, and these new ones that I buy are made to break, and
Okay.
they don't last very long, but these were made to last.
What is an average price for these, and what's a really good price for these?
An average price is probably $200.
For the set?
For the set. $100 each. A good price would be $100 for both of them.
Okay.
And then if you're getting them warranted, then $300 is a good price.
Okay. What is this place that we're standing in? Is this like a washer dryer graveyard or what?
Yeah, so this is the secondary storage at my grandparents' rentals. There's a guy that collects washers and dryers every day to scrap them.
Okay.
He takes pictures of them.
How'd you find him?
KSL Facebook.
Okay.
I just said, I'm looking for washers and dryers. So he sends me pictures every day. He has a key here, and then he just drops them off. And these front load ones, I don't use these in the rental business. They're too heavy for me.
Okay.
So those always sell for $200 within a day.
Okay.
And then the top load ones, I either clean and rent them, and I'm normally into them like $35 on average, or I take them apart to fix the ones that I already have.
Okay.
So I pay $25 for them. One dryer can like fix probably 8 dryers that I own.
Okay.
Rather than buying the parts.
You just part it out.
I just part it out. The elements, the thermostats, the belts, the pulleys.
Okay. So if I'm watching this right now saying, oh, how nice, you have grandparents with an apartment complex, trust fund kids, silver spoon, what would you say to them?
I would say, A, I just am using my fetching what's in front of me. But second of all, you can buy like a 10 by 10 storage unit or whatever for like $80 a month.
Okay.
You can always solve it.
Did your grandparents give you any business or like feed you leads or anything?
My grandparents have nothing to do with the business.
Okay.
I don't have a single set rented to one of their apartments, but they are very generous. I also use both of their garages are full of washers and dryers.
Oh, haters are furious right now. They're furious.
Full of them.
I got to see what you're delivering these things in. Would you mind
Alrighty,
showing me?
yeah.
To me, it's like, I think a lot of people watching like, I don't have a truck. I don't even have a car. Right? What they don't know is you can go to Home Depot and rent a truck for like $25 a day.
Oh,
you can rent just a trailer. You can put a hitch on a car for $250 at U-Haul. Show me what you got here, because you're 2 years into this now and you still don't have a dang truck.
Yeah, so that's my biggest, all my friends ask me why don't I have a truck. I have enough money for a truck. Well, this is the setup. We're running a Toyota Highlander, 260,000 miles on it. As you can see, it was registered in March. We're in June. We got this. The first thing I do when I buy a car, put a hitch on it, slap a hitch onto it. Once again, I was given everything, right? So my dad gave me this trailer.
What is this trailer worth?
Probably $1,000 maybe.
Okay.
$500.
Must be nice.
And it can fit 6 machines in it. So I always have 6 machines in it.
We got to talk dimensions. I have a perfect 12 shoe size. So I'm going to tell you what the dimensions are of this, okay?
I think it's 12 feet,
3,
but yeah.
Hey, no cheating. 5, 7, 9,
or maybe 10. I think
10.
It's 10.
It's 10 feet long, and it fits 9 units, 6 units?
6. 3 sets.
3, 5, 6.
10 by 6.
10 by 6, 10 by 5-ish?
That sounds right.
Okay, so is this big enough to scale?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have over 120 sets. This is all I've ever used.
Wow.
I put the fridges in here. You don't need anything bigger than this, I don't think.
I mean, because this holds $320 a month worth of monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah, it can.
And it doesn't look great.
The floor is falling apart currently.
That's okay.
But yeah.
That's pretty rough for a trust fund kid, right? All right, so like, what do we need to run this business?
You're gonna go with the drill. You can go Ryobi. You don't have to go Milwaukee with the drill and a pair of channel locks. That's the only 2 tools you need.
We got to get everyone in the comments triggered. Ryobi is the best by far. It's the highest quality, made in America.
I personally prefer the Ryobi, but I had to do this just for branding purposes.
Sure. Now tell me about these. Like, what do we got going on here? Like,
this is one of the hacks, door hangers. So I go to apartment complexes that someone already has a set, so I logically know.
They're not provided.
Yeah, they're not provided. I just know that. And then I just go hang them up.
So would this be like if you had a customer in an apartment complex, you're like, all right, I know for a fact this apartment complex does not provide them. Let's hang these suckers up.
And it takes like an hour to hang, like 30 minutes to hang up 200 door apartment complex.
Okay.
I'd say you typically get 3 or 4 leads if you do that. So if you just do the math, if you do that every day for a month, you could scale to 100 sets in 1 month if you wanted to.
Just hanging these?
Just hanging door hangers.
Facebook Marketplace disappears tomorrow. We're gonna hang these and get to 10 grand a month.
Yeah, I ordered 10,000 of these.
So what's like a percentage conversion rate on these?
I don't know the exact number, but like I'm hoping out of the 10,000, I'll just double my business. I'm planning on the lowest will be 1%. 10,000, I'll get 100 sets, but I think it'll be more than that. Plus the word of mouth.
So let's say these are 5 cents each. That's gonna be $500. So you're just casually, I'm hoping I can spend $500 a month and go from 10 to 20 grand a month.
Yeah, that's the goal.
I'd say that'll do it.
That's a good ROI, huh?
Yeah, holy crap. I mean, I used to hang these as a teenager for pest control, and my boss was thrilled if we got a 0.5% response rate. You're talking about like 2 to 3% on these.
That's what I'm hoping, yeah.
But we gotta know, what is your churn like? What percentage of people cancel every month?
So honestly, it's pretty good. Like I have a lot of people that have still rented from, like they've never ever given back this set, and they've had it for a year and a half. So I have like 120 sets plus or minus, and I've probably delivered 170.
Okay, 50 churned customers in almost 2 years. That's 24 months, 50, so you're losing 2 a month, which is like 1.5% churn.
Yeah.
That's insane. Like, you know that's insane.
It's pretty nice.
Like 10% churn is like doable. You're at 1.5%.
Well, typically people sign their lease. It's a 1-year lease and they rent it for the whole year, and then they renew their lease, and then they just keep renting it. But yeah, I mean, you get people who sign up during the middle of their lease. They rent it for 6 months, 8 months. Sometimes they buy a set or whatever. But I mean, that's all. My whole goal was make $10,000 a month, and I don't care how hard I work, even if I have to work 40 hours a week. But so far, I don't have to do that. I work about 5 to 10 hours a week.
Oh, beautiful. Quick question. What if there were a private community out there of people that were building businesses based on this podcast? Well, I just made it, and it's only for business starters and business builders. It's called TK Owners, and it's basically like having me and 100 other business geniuses as your business partner. Also, there's going to be exclusive new trends, growth hacks, business ideas, and a database of everything I've ever talked about. You'll find thousands of startup case studies. You'll have weekly Ask Me Anythings with me while I'll answer your questions directly. You can join now at tkowners.com, link in the show notes. All right, once you get inside the apartment, what does your process look like?
All right, I knock on their door. I see the layout to see if I should bring in the washer or dryer. I tell them it's going to be 30 minutes, and then they can fill out the contract. So then I install both the washer and dryer. I test them myself, just make sure the water goes in, there's no visual leaks. Turn on the dryer, let it run for like 30 seconds, then I stop it. Then I have her fill out the contract, make sure she understands that she's renting them. It's not rent to own. Explain that all the maintenance is free. If there's any issues, I'll be here 2 to 3 days. Tell her that I'll take a credit card and it'll be charged automatically the 27th of every month.
Okay.
And then I show her 2 minutes how to use the machines.
Make sure she sees that it's all working.
Yep. I try to give her some preventative maintenance, like please don't wash too many clothes, like 15 or like 8 towels or 5 towels, 15 shirts, 8 pants, whatever.
Okay.
I kind of show her on the machine where to fill it up so she doesn't put too much clothes in. Show her the lint trap, make sure they know how to change that, and then take their credit card, and then we're good to go.
Okay. What does your insurance look like?
So I didn't have any insurance for like 3 months, but then I got some, and it is $700 for the whole year. So
wow.
Like $60 a month.
Okay. Now, if you have 100 units outstanding, what percentage of them are going to have service calls any given month?
It definitely changes, but I would say there's typically 1, maybe on a bad week, 2 calls a week. And a service call is the same thing as an install. It takes 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay. So let's say
it's typically 1.
5 to 8 a month service calls.
Yep.
And do you have to go for all of them, or can some of them you handle over the phone?
Yeah, like a lot of them, they say, oh, my dryer doesn't dry, and I kind of walk them through over the phone, like, okay, you need to make sure the actual apartment vent is not full of lint. That happened last week, and then they get it cleaned, and then it works.
Okay.
Or sometimes they just don't even have the heat on, or stuff like that.
So if you have 120 or so units, then call like 3% are going to get calls every month or so?
Yeah, something around that.
Okay, that's not so bad.
The only things I do is I install machines. I take them out when people move. That's the main reason they stop renting, is they either move. Sometimes there's emergencies. And so it's just installing them, taking them out, and then when I take them out, I just pressure wash them, and I can typically rent them out again within 2 to 3 days.
Okay. You're spending like 5 hours a week on this business, but if you really wanted to scale it, you could work as much or as little as you want, right?
Yeah. The other guy that does this has like 900 sets, and he says he still only works 2 to 3 days a week. So it's definitely not super labor intensive.
All right, you keep talking about this 3-step process.
Yeah.
Tell me about this thing. This is the secret sauce.
All right, I've broken it down. I call it the PRB process. Step 1, post it.
Okay.
Step 2, rent it.
Okay.
Step 3, buy it.
You don't have that backwards.
No.
You buy it after you rent it.
You buy it after you rent it. Post,
Tell me
rent,
why.
buy. I mean, you just got to validate and get your first customer. I mean, it's zero risk if you do it that way.
Okay. I mean, you're supposed to say, like, why would I buy it before I rent it? I got to know that someone wants it first, right?
Exactly.
All right, so show me your system here, because what are all these profiles?
Yeah, so I have a couple different profiles, so I can post.
A couple. I see more than a couple.
So I can post multiple locations and have multiple posts.
Same name on all profiles.
For 3 of them.
Except for Spencer Williams.
Yep, Spencer Williams is my pseudo name.
Okay, is that an AI-generated picture?
No, it's a real picture of me.
Oh, that's you in the, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can actually use his account if we want.
And tell me the logic in having multiple accounts.
I mean, I like to do, because you can change the zip code for your posts. And so I do all of Utah County and Salt Lake County. So for like Spencer, I'll do like Mapleton, Springville, Spanish Fork. And then for a different account, I'll have, I don't know the algorithm. I don't know why multiple accounts works, but like it boosts one account for a couple days. And then it's just like, it's just nice to have multiple.
How are you started? Do you use different IP addresses, or do you just use different email addresses?
Just different email addresses.
Okay. And you never get banned or blocked or anything?
No. And another hack is just pay the $12 a month for the badge. Okay. And then you can actually have customer support. So when you do get banned, they will unban you.
Yeah.
If you spend money on ads, it helps to tell them that as well.
Okay.
So I just go to Marketplace. See, we've got a $50 washer and dryer. That's my first recommended. Create listing, one item, add photos or videos, washers and dryers. I like to use that one, multiple angles, different machines, doesn't really matter. I like to use a lot of different photos though. For the title, washer and dryer, haven't A/B tested this, but I either do washer and dryer rental or washer and dryer for rent. Price, $60 to $85. I just put the lowest one, $60. For the description, I always go, never go to the laundromat again.
You're speaking to their pain point.
Yep, rent a washer and dryer month to month, free delivery, install, and maintenance. Message me for more info. Go to the zip code wherever you want to mark it. You can just change wherever you want to put it to. West Valley's a good area, and then list in more places. I don't know if Spencer has groups, but on my other account, put it as many groups. Utah County Classified has 30,000 people, 13,000. Utah County.
Does it help to do that?
Yeah.
Does that make a big difference?
Yeah, I think so. I get comments from it a lot, and then you would publish. It's not going to let me publish this because I already have a post with that picture. But
okay.
That is, let's see if I delete it. Condition used like new. There it is.
That's the whole description.
That's it.
That's it.
Sometimes I put more like keywords, but the nice thing is, so the reason people are finding this is they're typing in washer and dryer set, and so they're gonna get like hundreds of washers and dryers, and then all of a sudden they're gonna see washer and dryer $60. They're gonna click it. They're never seen something for rent.
It breaks their pattern.
It breaks it, and then they look at it and they read it, and then they message me and they say, "How does that work?" And then you go to your messenger and
is being responsive the most important thing?
I would say so, yeah. If you don't respond quick, like within the same day, then they're gonna say, "Oh, actually I found one," or "I decided to do something else." But if you can get them, they'll rent it for a year. That's how important it is.
All right, so that's rent and then buy. We basically already covered how
post
to buy
it,
these things.
Rent it out, find your customer, then
post
buy it.
Rent, buy it, okay. And we covered renting it out. That's just responding to inquiries. Can you show a couple, like, what does an average inquiry look like? What common questions are people giving you?
I can find one that I did last week was on my mom's account.
Does your mom care that you're shilling these?
Yeah, she does. She hates it. So I got 2 messages right now. This guy in Spanish is saying, "I am interested. What would the monthly cost be?" I will reply in a second. But as an example, "Hi Kyler, is this still available? How does it work?" I hit 3 times, and then it just has my pre-things, and that's what I just do. I say, "Awesome, this is just a month-to-month rental. Used sets are $60 a month. New is $85. You must rent for at least 6 months. First payment is due the day of install. Free delivery and install maintenance." I hit all of those, and then they give me their address typically. It's pretty simple.
How price sensitive are your customers?
A lot of people are happy to pay. I mean, it's cheaper than the laundromat.
More convenient,
and free delivery install. So I've gotten $100 tips before while I'm installing them. So it's pretty nice.
Post rent buy.
Post rent buy.
All right, so I honestly feel like we didn't leave anything out today. We covered pretty much everything, am I right?
No, yeah, I feel like we did a pretty good job.
Okay, but just in case there's someone out there that wants more personalized support from Kyler himself, what can they do?
Yeah, so we actually launched a school community, which is going to be in the description below. We're going to cover more in depth of real Facebook ads, not just Marketplace, the template for the door hangers, how to set up the Stripes account, Google Business account, how to build a website with Replit, how to source machines, how to fix machines, how to flip machines, repair them. It's gonna go over literally everything, not leave anything out. Like every part of the business, there's gonna be videos about it, weekly calls. And the reason I love it is because this business can be a $500 a month business or a $30,000 a month business. And it can work in communities as small as 10,000 people, as big as like big metro places that have millions of people.
I mean, you know a guy in Salt Lake doing like 60 grand a month with this, don't you?
Yeah, he has 900 sets.
And then didn't you help a guy in like middle of nowhere, Idaho do this?
Yeah, so one of my friends heard about the business and he tested it in Burley, Idaho, and there's only like a couple thousand people there, and he has like 25 sets rented out, and he says the demand is strong. So really anywhere there's people, this business will work. It's low overhead, anyone can do it, and it's passive, and there's a lot of reasons I love it.
Okay, well check out the community in the link below. Thanks for watching.